Hello, African sports fanatics. Welcome to another episode of the Safari Soccer Show. I'm your host, Yvonne Etta. My guest today is one of the, I think, most successful young coaches in South African football. Please, coach, just introduce yourself to the viewers and take us through your football journey, if you have played soccer before, and how you came, your coaching career as well.
Hi Yvonne. Hi to the beautiful African viewers that always tune into your show. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, I was told that we must work extremely hard so that we get into positions where we don't have to introduce ourselves. I guess that's another myth that we were taught. It doesn't seem like the introducing stops even no matter how hard we work, but it is what it is. So yeah, I'm Rulani Mokwena. I'm Mamelodi Sundowns as head coach. We sit in a position where we've got a different sort of leadership structure within our club. So we've got co-coaching roles and started coaching at the tender age of 14 when many people were still playing, but I suppose I was responding to a calling, and from then with the Triple S Football Club and Black Boys, which I still run and coach till today, and moving on to Platinum Stars, and from Platinum Stars moving to Mamelodi Sundowns through different routes with Complete Footballers and Bloemfontein Celtics, which had the Sporting Lisbon Academy. Yeah. And then ultimately to Pirates, and from Pirates being assistant coach, head coach, moving back to, went on loan to Chipper United for a couple of months. The pandemic started, which maybe was a blessing in disguise. We never know. And here we are back at Sundowns, and so far so good.
Let me ask you, you've told me you started coaching at the age of 14. I think at 14 you are still a kid. So did you ever play football as a kid as well?
Yeah, I played the game. Look, I would be lying to you if I said I wanted to just be a coach. No, it's not true. I think I had other ambitions as well. The ambition to be a professional football player, which unfortunately did not come into fruition. But here we are coaching now and trying to make the best out of this opportunity. But of course, coming from a family of professional football players, where my grandfather was a professional footballer, my uncle, my father, they were professional football players and played at the highest level for some of the biggest clubs in the country. So of course, for me, my ambition and my aim was also to be a professional football player. But I suppose the universe had other plans, isn't it?
Yeah, talking about family, I think your footballing family background is something to marvel about. The Sonos. So how did coming from such a background influence your career?
Well, I don't know how. The only thing that it did, to be honest, was maybe two, to be honest. The first thing is maybe influencing it in a way where I was directed to the game. Growing up in a family that was already involved in football helped me, because it didn't take too much to get me involved in football. I understood very quickly that the family was a royal family in South African football, and that there was huge expectation. And maybe that's the second influence, the influence of the success and the prestige that comes with what they have achieved, and that stimulates me even till today to be able to still carry the name with aplomb and dignity, which rightfully is what their efforts and their sacrifices deserve. So I think, having said that, that's what I can, and I'm grateful, to be honest, to be part of such a family, and to be part of such a distinguished group of people that have a special sense of blood flowing through their veins in a certain way. Have a very difficult calling, which is to serve South African football as a family, you know.
So let's talk about your co-coaching role model at the club. A lot of people don't understand how this works. Maybe if you can just break it down to us, how does it work?
I don't think we ourselves understand too much how it works, except for the fact that we just get to work and we do the best that we can for the club, and that we are at service regardless of portfolio or position. And I think that has helped us a lot in not regarding ourselves as head coach, as first coach, second coach, assistant, and giving ourselves title. I think what's important is not the titles, not the portfolio, but the responsibility and the adhering with diligence and lots of focus and hard work and responding to the call. I think the club's hierarchy, Mr. Motsepe, the chairman, the family, would be very disappointed if I were to answer the question and say I understand how it is supposed to work, because I think it was in their wisdom that they created this leadership sort of position and style, and it's wisdom of very, very, very deep and deep thinkers and very progressive people, and the layman such as myself, and I speak for myself in this moment, it becomes very difficult to understand their chain of thinking, because the wisdom is just so advanced.
But coach, you have been a head coach at Pirates and at Chippa United. What's the difference? That the pressure and expectations from a head coach, I think, is different from that of the assistant coach. How is the team going through rough tides?
I must tell you, I think I had a lot of pressure as an assistant coach at Pirates. I had a hell of a lot of pressure. And I don't know if people believe that when I say that. I think my experience of being at Orlando Pirates was just being in a pressure cooker. I was consistently in the fire, regardless of again, as I say, it has nothing to do with titles and portfolios. I was the assistant coach, but I was under a hell of a lot of pressure, not just from the supporters, but even from within the club. You know, there was a big responsibility placed on my shoulders, and I wouldn't have it any other way, you know, because I think I was honest, I was diligent, and I was serving the club as best as I can. The pressure of being a head coach, of course, it escalated a bit when I was at Pirates. There was a little bit more pressure, a lot more responsibility, and in that moment also I knew that you know, the buck has to stop with me, and the responsibility lies squarely on my shoulders. And I was prepared for that. I'm grateful for the opportunity that Dr. Koza and the club's management gave me. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have been part of a childhood club that I grew up supporting, and I'm grateful for all the lessons and the good moments that we had. We had very good moments. But we move on to a club also that has got a very, very dear space in my heart, Mamelodi Sundowns, and I'm enjoying every moment of being part of this family. So we are in a good moment. There's no pressure. The pressure with a lot of us is thinking, who to play, what's the next training session, what's the next result. And the reality is that for many other people, there's more severe, more serious things happening in the world outside, and you wouldn't want to sound naive, and maybe in a certain moment sound vain in not being sympathetic to what's happening to people outside, and that's real pressure. In football, there's no pressure.
Let me ask you, you were privileged to work under Coach Pitso, who is currently believed to be the best African coach right now. How was it working under him?
It was fantastic. I've only got good words. In fact, I can run out of superlatives in trying to in trying to describe my time with the coach, top coach, very obsessed with football and the minutest of details, extremely focused on his team and the project. Works diligently hard, and is someone I learned a lot from, and I was always grateful to have worked under him in my first spell, and when the opportunity came for me to work under him and with him in my second spell, it was not a very difficult decision to make, So someone I've got a lot of respect for.
At winning the 2016 CAF Champions League, which I believe is a historic fate at a club. Maybe if you can just take us through the milestone from a coaching perspective and also a technical perspective as well.
My own personal ones.
Pardon?
You're saying my own personal coaching milestones?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not one to. I've achieved what I've achieved in my football career and my short football career so far as a football coach and in a professional space. I think I would not have dreamed of in my wildest imaginations and dreams. Of course, I've got targets and goals and objectives that I set for myself. But the reality is I am also surprised at how privileged I am to have been bestowed upon with the honor of achieving so many great things. And I'm not in this moment talking only about being part of winning teams and being part of teams that lifted several amounts of trophies and had huge amounts of success. And I'm speaking from amateur days with Black Poison. I'm speaking about youth days with Sundowns as under 19s or Platinum Stars as under 19s when we went all the way to play against Barcelona and we played 0-0, or when we won Bay Hill and came Motsepe, etc., etc. But the reality is, even in the first team as an assistant and now as a head coach with my first league title, but I don't regard those as milestones and great achievements. I think for me, I always say that football is the most important or the least important things in life, and the reality is changing lives and helping other people become better versions of themselves. And that for me is something that I treasure and I focus on every single day. And that's what gives me fulfillment and a lot of happiness. I try to be the coach that I think I would have thrived under, and I try to create that sort of personality for my players. And if that's enough, then I count that as a milestone, as a successful achievement. And even if it's just for one player, one human being or one boy, it's enough for me.
As I was just going through, I was just doing my research. I came through a blog that stated that you were on record disputing the Coach of the Year award, which was awarded to Coach Benny. If this is true, what was your concern about the award?
That's not true. I didn't dispute the award. That's not true.
Yeah.
No, I didn't dispute. I congratulated Benny McCarthy as a colleague. I mentioned how well he did upon taking over at Amazulu, and for me that's all I had to say about the issue. I said, I remember I said that for the fact that people are disputing and it's creating some form of dialogue, it means there's something that is amiss. So, and that's not for me to comment on and speculate about.
Okay. Also, in your career, you've worked with Steve before, and you reunited at Masandawana again. How influential is he in your career?
Of course, very influential. I don't think I would be where I am today without him. So So very, very influential and someone I'm very grateful for. He gave me my first opportunity as an assistant coach in the big league, and I was only 24 at that time, you know. So he's someone that even over the years I've kept in touch with, and I've always sought advice from. So I consider myself extremely fortunate to have Steve Kompela in my space of trustees.
And also from your Twitter interactions, you seem to gain inspiration from renowned European coaches, the likes of Jose Mourinho, Jose, and Pep. Tell us about these.
No, I think everybody finds inspiration somewhere.
Yeah.
I just seem to find it from some of the best coaches, and find things that we try to copy and help to improve our coaching and the level of work that we do. So yeah, in a good space. They are very successful and very, very forward-thinking coaches who have shaped my way of thinking about the game and how I see the game. And they're not the only ones. Julian Nagelsmann is a coach whose story I can closely relate to. Roger Schmidt is a coach whose football I appreciate and admire. So it's those ones are part of the coaches that are got huge. Michael.
Okay. Let's wait for maybe the coach if he'll come back. Also, guys, maybe if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be turning one, I think, next week. Our first show was premiered, I think, at a time around next week. So probably I'm still looking for a special guest, maybe African or non-African, who will grace the show. So just a few questions, maybe you can send in your questions in the comment section for the coach as we wait for him. Yeah. Okay. You are on mute. Let me ask.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
They called me at the gate, and then the network cut.
Oh, okay.
Because I had to open for someone at the it was a gift. It was a gift. They bought me this so that when I sit here and it's cold, I just put my feet in.
Okay, coach. Let me just you guided Sundowns to win its 4th consecutive title in the middle of the pandemic. This, I guess, requires a lot of readjustments in the training and game approach. How has COVID-19 changed your perspective in sports and life in general?
Yeah, look, I think more than just anything, for football or sports, it's the feeling of being grateful for the little things, and that's very important. I think in one moment you realize that you could be on the pitch and having the game of your life, and the next moment that could be taken away from you. That privilege, opportunity to just do what you love doing. And therefore, the lesson can only be when you get the opportunity, do it to the best of your capacity, because you never know whether it is your first or your last or your 400. But the reality is that you stay in the space where you've got a huge appreciation for the little things, and that's also a lesson about life, because whatever we experience in sport, we can easily transmit that and copy it into life in general. And we sit in a space where we've just got to be grateful for the little things, grateful for good health, grateful for family, and grateful for the opportunity to wake up and see another day, and that, for me, I think is what are the biggest lessons for COVID. I don't even think that football has any sort of space in having to be discussed in the same sort of sentence as COVID. COVID is an issue of life and death, and football is about family, friends, and creating memories. And that's the reality, and therefore the one supersedes the other in terms of relevance and importance.
Also, I cannot find the interview before asking you about Brian Mandela. If you can tell us something about him, and also just to tell you that there are more talents as Brian Mandela in Kenya, so you guys should come and coach for more players.
Look, I would run out of superlatives in describing Brian. I've had huge admiration for Brian as a center half. When he was 19 years old and he was playing for Santos, I remember he was a free agent and I was still at Sundowns under my first spell. And I spoke to Pizzo about him, because I had been given tabs or notifications about him. And I did a little bit of research and watched one or two games. And from then I was always caught in that space. I mean, he's a center back that I like. He's got huge leadership presence. He's technically clean. Can be better with a lot of coaching, of course, and we're working on that, but he's technically a decent center half to be able to do the basic elements with regards to our build-up schemes. His defending is probably one of the best I have seen with center backs that I've worked with. His red zone defending, one-on-one duels in the air, on the ground. Brian is extremely strong. And the one thing that Brian has that not a lot of players have is the ability to he's got a huge sense of humor, incredible sense of humor. Brian is one of the funniest people I know, and just looking at Brian brings me to laughter.
Also, Coach, I know this is now out of topic from Mamelodi Sundowns. Maybe if you have been given a chance to work with any international coach, who will it be? And also, would you ever think of coaching the South African national team as well?
Yeah, no, the South African national team is possible, but it's too early. So hopefully, with God's grace and he keeps me for enough years, I'm able to take that opportunity. And everybody would love to represent their country within their profession, and I'm no different, So yeah, that is definitely something that I'm aiming for.
I wanted to ask you before signing out of the interview, I wanted to ask you between Amapiano or reggae, but look, Amapiano has taken over everywhere. We don't even listen to reggae anymore.
No, it's outdated music.
But I'm so humbled, Coach, for this opportunity. Second time to my show. At least today we have finished the interview. Thank you very much, and maybe I just wish you all the best with the Sundowns. No, I was forgetting. Yesterday's match, the penalty that Mwene took. That was something else. Otherwise,
yeah, the good thing is he scored it. That's the most important thing. That it
yeah.
hit the back of the net.
Yeah.
Us as coaches, that's all that matters, to be honest with you. The rest is just part of the debate and the talk, the tap and talk for the supporters.
Thank you. And to our viewers, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Safari Soccer Show. Follow us on all our social media handles at Safari Soccer Show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you, Coach, and I wish you all the best in your coaching career.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me, Etta, and thanks to your fantastic African viewers. It was only a pleasure, and hope to see you soon.
Inshallah. I'll be in South Africa in December.
We'll see you in December. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Inshallah. Thank you.